Hey Instagram world, thank you so much for swinging by my feed today. I hope that you guys are all well. I am here in Melbourne, lockdown. It's raining outside. We've just gone in for another week of lockdown. Got my tea going on, and I was in my garage cleaning out some stuff and, sorting through some books. What else is there to do in a lockdown? And I came across this beautiful gem, and it is just so cool to reconnect with this. I had this given to me when I was 10 years old. It is called Myths and Legends, and it is a series of really beautifully illustrated short stories. I have loved this book since I was a kid, and it just makes me so happy and just this twinge of nostalgia for my childhood. And I thought, why not share this beautiful work with you guys? So if you've got a minute, let's take a little bit of a look at this book and just chill out. It is written and illustrated by Rodger Payne, and as you can see, it has been loved so much. You've got sticky tape kind of holding it together. It's just been adored. Here's the opening. Look at that. The layout of this book is just beautiful. I actually found out that Rodger was an English lecturer who was really interested in Hermetic things. No surprise. And he also taught at a university in London as well. So other than being incredibly talented, this is one of his books. And I've just gone online and I've ordered another copy of this book from Amazon. I think it was Amazon, I'm not sure, but just to get an updated version, because this one's missing pages and it's falling apart and it's just all kind of it's been loved to death, but I'd love a new copy of it as well. We open up the book and can we just look at the layout of this? Look at the story of Medusa. Look at that. And his Perseus has brought her head back to I can't remember which king it was, some evil king. But before I go on to this book, I just want to say that for me, this is the reason why I make art. Art to me is storytelling, and I was that kid, the nerd that was alone, no friends at school, could not be understood. No one knew how to deal with me. Very complicated, very weird, very unusual. And if you're probably on my Instagram, you were probably just like me, you were just the same. And I'd sit in the library and I'd just look at all of the pictures in the books. And I always knew one day I was going to write books and illustrate books. I always knew that I would, because I just wanted to come into a library and see my book on the shelf, or go into a bookshop, and it would just be an amazing feeling to have something out in the world that is service to the world and beautiful. And growing up, gorgons and monsters and Greek gods were really kind of etched into the collective of my consciousness so hard, because I think myths really teach people stories about life, and they have these events that have meaning, and whether it's like action and battles and Greek gods, there is some kind of lesson or some kind of, what would I say, higher purpose of teaching someone something. And I feel like this kind of this is where it all started. It all kind of trickled down into the collective. And I was always interested in monsters and magic and the supernatural and stuff like that. And I often think to myself that monsters really represent our fear, I guess, and they also represent the unknown consciousness or the supernatural, or things like that. So without further ado, let's have a bit of a look at Myths and Legends by Rodger Payne, illustrated by Rodger. This was actually brought back in the late 90s by Brimbanks, Newmarket, England. They're a book house that they're no longer out there in the world anymore. And you get this beautiful layout, and it kind of gives you an introduction. And then you get all the stories, and I just love all of these little short stories, because short stories are just so much easier to read, and a big commitment to a big book could be like, it's like, it can get very heavy, and sometimes we don't want heavy. Sometimes you just want something nice and tasty. You don't want to have a massive meal. Like, I'm using food as an analogy, but like a little bit of sauce, a really, really good sauce with a little bit of pasta. Like, sometimes you don't need all the pasta, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean. So let's have a look at Theseus and the Minotaur. Look at this beautiful artwork. It has been rendered so well. There's the Minotaur in the maze. If you guys know the story, it's so good. Look at that. He's got the string, the ball of string that he was able to find his way back from memory. I haven't read this in a long time. I just pulled this book out of the garage in a box and was like, oh, this is so cool. I just want to share this with everyone. So here we are. And this style of work is all hand done. It's all painted in, rendered. It's very, look at the detail there, guys. I can't get over how beautiful this book is. There's actually another book that he did, which was basically Homer's Odyssey, which was the story of the Odyssey, if you know that one. It's a really good one, and I ended up ordering that book as well. So here we see Icarus flying too close to the sun. There we are. And I think as a kid, I got this when I was 10 years old, and back then there was like 90s TV, would have been like Xena or Hercules, and you know, we weren't overly wealthy kids, our family, so you weren't inside the house. You were out in the brook catching tadpoles and slaying monsters that were like trees in the backyard, and you'd have to make things up in your head, and this book really evoked that energy, and it made me work so much harder than in my imagination, I guess. And it's the story of Jason and the Golden Fleece. If you might know this one, Jason and the Argonauts. There was a Hallmark series which did Jason and the Golden Fleece. They also did a really good one with oh god, what's her name? Miranda Richardson, who played Queen Mab, and Sam Neill was Merlin. That was a really good one. If you know that one, leave a comment below, because I love the way they did Queen Mab in that. Look at it, it's just beautiful, very easy to read. Look at that bull with a fire coming out of the mouth, out of the nose there. Like, that's so cool. Look at the armor, look at that cool kind of scale armor. He really had such a good understanding of the aesthetic of the Greek mythology when he illustrated this. And when I look at this, it just inspires me so much. And I wanted to do something positive and just share something really beautiful with you. It makes me work so much harder when I see beauty. I think all art builds on art. You can see all of these warriors coming out of the earth there. Look at that one. There we've got the sleeping dragon, and he's guarding the golden fleece. Jason in the golden fleece. We've also got the harp playing there to keep the dragon asleep. I always see dragons as protectors. I always see them as guarding things. That's how I've always seen a dragon generally. Look at this one. We've got the Pegasus, the beautiful Pegasus. Pegasus was born out of Medusa, actually. But we're getting to my favorite story here. Wow, look at that. Look at that lion with the fire coming out. That's so good. Chef's kiss. Oh, the rendering here, it's just, this is so my style of work, and it just makes me want to raise my bar so much higher when I see the stuff like this, the shooting of the arrow in there. Look at the green acid that's coming out of this monster. I'm not sure which monster this one was. Bellerophon, I think it was, who killed this monster. I'm not sure, maybe it was a Cinerax. I don't know how to pronounce some of them, but here we are at my favorite story in this book, Perseus and the Gorgon. And we could think, we all know Perseus slayed Medusa. And there's Athena. Yes, Athena, yes. I don't know her owl's name, I've forgotten. Whenever I see an owl, I always think of Archimedes from The Sword and the Stone, the Disney one. That's actually a really good one. It's got Madam Min and stuff like that. And yeah, look at this one. This is so cool. The Weird Sisters. No, I think the Weird Sisters, they're oh god, they're like the oracles, and you've got to give them the eye. And in this case, he's got the staff that he puts in. There's so many different depictions of these characters, but that's Hermes there, and he gives Perseus the ability to fly. There he's got his flying boots. Look at this beautiful. This is my favorite layout, and this depiction, can we just take a minute to look at this? There are so many different depictions of Medusa, but for me growing up, this was the one that I was most like ingrained into my psyche. It's very traditional with the wings, and she's in this isolated place. She's been kind of forbidden, the Gorgons with her sisters. And I think, I'll look at this character and I see Medusa as a really tragic story. And I did a really, really cool illustration that I'm very happy with, actually, of the depicting just the face, but I kept her as like a human, and just so cool. And I think the Medusa story, you know, she really was this beautiful virgin priestess at the temple of Athena, and she'd dedicated her whole life to Athena. And all the people would come far and wide just to see her beauty. And Athena was very jealous of Medusa because everyone was going to her temple to see Medusa over her. And they weren't paying tribute to Athena. And at the time, Athena had been feuding with Poseidon. And so one day, Poseidon spotted Medusa on the shore, and he took Medusa for his own and raped her in the temple of Athena. And Athena gave no support to Medusa and transformed her into a Gorgon with hissing poisonous snakes for hair, and, you know, the curse that would turn anyone, petrified everyone to solid stone in a single glance. And I just remember this story. I'd really like to see this story be told from the angle of Medusa, because it really comes down to this kind of dark feminist thing where it's like jealousy and envy between women and not empowering each other. So it's a really powerful, it's like a protagonist story. It's a rape story. I also illustrated, well, I did a scribble and I wrote a book about Medusa getting revenge up on Mount Olympus, where she's able to get up there and turn all the gods to stone. I also did another little short story that I'd love to publish one day about Medusa getting glasses where she can like wear sunglasses and she doesn't have to go, doesn't have to turn everyone to stone, and she gets to make friends. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. But yeah, let's get moving, keep going. I'll keep this video under 15 minutes because it's gonna cut out then. But look at the artwork, guys. Look, the horse, the wooden horse of Troy. Look at that beautiful horse. I said Troy. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I just wanted to share this. Look at the fire. Oh my God, it just inspires me. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get caffeinated, and I'm just gonna get into it. Odysseus and the Cyclops story, they went into the cave. If you remember this story, Odysseus ended up blinding the Cyclops because he was eating all of his men. This book, by the way, doesn't hold back. Like that's pretty dark. You can see they tricked him. They gave him wine and helped him fall asleep. They played him music, and while he was asleep, they burned his eye. Beautifully done. Look at the detail work there, the hands. This would have taken so long to do. I'm so taken back by the quality. I can't say it enough. Like, I just can't get over it. It also goes into, I'll skip ahead a little bit. Yep, there's a lion. You know, he pulled out the splinter out of the lion's paw, and then he was captured. And then when he was in the arena and everyone was getting eaten by the lions, the lion remembered him and they became friends. It's a really nice story there. It's about kindness. All these little Greek stories, little myths. It also goes into a little bit of the kind of Nordic gods as well. Look at that, Odin. Look at that. That's so good. Gotta share it. You can probably hear the excitement in my voice. Look at this. Look at that artwork. Anyway, I will leave it here. But there's a troll king. Who doesn't love a good troll king? Looks like he's about to be slayed. So anyway, I will leave it here. One more illustration, I promise, before I look. This sneaky giant is going to get him with the knife. Oh, look at this dragon. Wow, look at that dragon. It's so good. Well, anyway, I will keep it here. We've got a Beowulf. There's Grenhilda. There she is. Anyway, I will leave it here. So, Myths and Legends by Rodger Payne. I hope that you've enjoyed this little video that I've done on this beautiful book. And I'm just putting positivity out in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Bye.